Okay, so here we go with Whiteboard Wednesday. We're in a different location this week. We don't have a whiteboard, but we do have our coffee and tea. So what we thought we'd do is give you three books from each of us that we think are really good books to help you either with your fitness journey or to kind of get you started in taking an interest in your body, your health, your fitness. So we're going to go straight into it, and Emma's going to go with her first choice of book.
Cool. So my first one is Chasing Excellence by Bergeron. It's a nice, easy read for a start. It's a good book about basic mindset.
We fought over this one. I wanted this one. It is a brilliant book.
I got this one, and in fact, I think I borrowed it from Dudes in the first place. So it's actually your book, which is why I don't have it here today, because it's yours. So basically, it's a basic kind of all the mindset tools you need for performance. It's a really easy way, a nice beginner book to kind of read about it. And it tells a nice story about Catherine David-Soto.
A fantastic book, and I would recommend that for absolutely anybody. Okay, if I go with my first book then, so my first book would be The Body by Bill Bryson. It's a recent read for me, and it's kind of everything you need to know from head to toe. I think it's just really interesting. I found it's witty, it's informative. If you've read any of Bill Bryson's books, he's got a very witty way of writing. But I found this incredibly informative. So, as a quick example, the skin. The chapter on the skin, it was mind-blowing. This tiny layer that we've got that covers us, that determines so much in our life, the colour, etc., and why it is the colour that it is, to protect us from sun and geographical locations, etc. It's just so interesting.
And everything he does, right? The way he just writes is just amazing. Everything he does is good.
So I thought a fascinating read, but also quite witty, light-hearted. It kept me really interested, and I learnt a ton. So that would be my first choice for a read. Bill Bryson, The Body.
Cool. So my next one then, a book about training. It would be Overcoming Gravity by Stephen Lowe. Stephen Lowe's a former gymnast. It's basically this book. It's if you're interested in training and starting to learn how to structure your training, your body weight sort of strength-based training, and this is the book for you. It kind of goes through. It's very comprehensive. How to construct a program for mastering your own body weight, which I think is really important. Mastering your own body weight before we go into the kind of lifting and the strength-based movements, I think is really important. And everybody knows gymnasts make the best lifters, right?
Yeah, strength is the creation of tension, right?
Exactly.
Okay, cool. So my book number 2 is The Gut. Again, this one it's crammed with fascinating information. It's written. She's got a really witty way of writing. I found it quite funny. The illustrations are great on their own, actually. And if you want to know anything about your poo, it tells you all about it. But also, it is the most underrated organ in the body. I've been looking into it for the effects, the stress effects on the gut, and the effects of your training stress on the gut. It's a really interesting subject, really underrated. Read it, The Gut, whether you're into fitness or not. I feel it's something everyone should know a little bit more about.
I'm intrigued now.
It is. It's amazing. It really is amazing. It is. Yeah, fascinating. So The Gut.
Cool. My third book is actually a cookbook, and if so, anybody that knows me that's watching this will probably laugh hysterically because I hate to cook. Okay, so this book is the ultimate cookbook because it actually involves no cooking. It's called Poke. It's by Celia, Farrar and Guy Jackson. And it's basically a recipe book of how I've basically been constructing my lunches for the last few months. Hawaiian style salads and bowls, no cooking involved, fresh flavours every time. Poke.
Hawaiian style salads. Okay.
Anyone knows it's been a real difficult challenge for me to actually sort my nutrition out.
And kind of not really. Yeah, I think that's great. I think you putting in a nutrition book that's almost aimed not for your nutrition. People are really into their sort of cooking. Some people love it, some don't. I think that's a great choice.
And I've actually tried a load of these recipes. I've been doing different variations, and it's so easy to do. No cooking, a few minutes. You just shred a bit of veg, shred a bit of salad, and put some meat, put your protein of choice in, and there you have a poke bowl.
Cool. Okay, so my choice number 3, Dan John Easy Strength. However, I put a caveat on this. If you really want to buy it, it's about 200 quid, I think, on Amazon. So the reason I would say get hold of Easy Strength, it absolutely transformed the way that I train. It is an encyclopedia of strength training. Absolutely, a brilliant book.
And we actually argued about this one as well. I think we both would have had this in our list. I went with Overcoming Gravity in the end because I think mastering body weight is important, but actually, like the way it just transforms the way you think about strength work and programming.
So what I would say is don't get that unless you are prepared to pay that much money. But very similar to that is Pavel Tsatsouline's Power to the People. Get hold of that book if you can. So Easy Strength. But you can't get it, so it's pointless me saying go and get that book because you can't get it.
We'll just
so what I would say is get hold of Pavel Tsatsouline's Power to the People. It's a great book. Again, it's simple, it's basic, it's got a ton of information about strength training. And those two have very similar schools of thought. So I think that is a great book. So Power to the People by Pavel Tsatsouline. If you're in the fitness industry and you haven't heard of Pavel Tsatsouline, shame on you, get yourself that book. A book that you want to read.
So my next book to read, so I haven't ordered it yet, I'm going to do that today, is Atomic Habits by James Clear. Everything I've read about it seems fantastic.
Yep, I want to get that. It's on my list.
So yeah, that's my next one.
And mine would be, well, it's not a would be, it's actually, I ordered it to my mum, so I'm going to go and meet her on Sunday to pick it up. Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers. So a book about managing stress, I believe, but that's my next book that I will be starting very soon. So there we go, Whiteboard Wednesday. I hope you kept that nice and short for you. No workout today because we're in a coffee shop having a meeting.